Good evening, everyone. It's episode 6 of What Woke Looks Like. Welcome back from last week. I took a little break, had a lot of things going on, so I figured I would run a rebroadcast, but I am excited about being back tonight. I have a special guest coming in to talk with us, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her in just a moment. But before I do, I want to pay homage to the Female Solution for being so gracious and allowing us this wonderful platform with which to spread this message of awakening. Stand by. We'll be right back.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
And we're back. I told you that there was a special guest here tonight, and she holds a very special place in my heart because for the last several months, she has served as my godmother, my spiritual godmother in the Ifa tradition. Now, let me just tell you about this. I like to call her fairy godmother. She is a priest of Oya and Egbe, a spiritualist, and a founder of an online shopping platform called All Good Things. Now we have to put emphasis on that T at the end, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Her name is Tabitha Lee, but she goes by Oyafunmilayo Egbetunhase. Now, let me tell you about her. Through All Good Things, she offers apparel, spiritual products that uplift and inspire and help people carry sacred energy in their everyday lives. Rooted in the tradition of Ifa or Asheshe and ancestral veneration, her work is guided by the power of ritual, the strength of community, and the wisdom of our ancestors. At the heart of everything, she offers a commitment to Black people, to the culture, taking fear out of our practices, amplifying our power, celebrating joy, and fostering connection and empowerment. So won't you join me in welcoming to the stage Tabitha Lee. Hey, girl, hey.
Oh, that little intro was good.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being here with us this evening. I know that, and I need you to know that we don't take it lightly for you to take the time out of your busy schedule to come over to share with us this evening, because I know that while you wear these hats, you wear a lot of other hats too.
Yes.
That probably take precedence over everything else.
Listen, you have no idea.
Listen, why don't you tell the people a little bit about your personal journey that you're in right now?
Okay, so I am a lot of things to a lot of people. I am, first of all, the daughter of Jay and Carrie. I am the granddaughter of Viola and Lewis and Irene and David. I'm a mama, I'm a friend, I'm a wife, I'm a priest, I'm a spiritualist, I'm a lottie dottie and everybody. I'm all the things. So that is me. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, but I reside in Baltimore, Maryland, and that is where I work and do my work.
Work and do your work. And I heard all of these things, but I think you left one little key detail out.
What?
And there's a little girl that I hear a lot about, and I definitely want to shout her out. that little cute little girl that you send pictures
Oh
of every
yes,
now and
yes,
then.
yes. How could I forget? I am
How
the
could you?
grandmother. I'm a new grandmother. So give me a little bit of slack. But I am the grandmother, the yaya of a 9-month-old baby girl named Aura.
Aura. And she is absolutely beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
wearing all of those hats and balancing the physical with the spiritual is a huge piece. How do you do that and make it look so easy? Because it's not easy.
It ain't. It ain't easy. I schedule things. My calendar is my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a child of Oya, so breath is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In between here and there, and this
Yes.
appointment, and this thing that I'm doing, I am taking that intentional time to just breathe before that next step. And I can kind of handle being busy, so it's not really that much of a stretch for me. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it can get busy. We Capricorns, and we could handle a lot of things. It's just that intentional breath when things start to get a little overwhelming. I just take a moment. I'm not afraid to take that moment, take that beat, take that breath, and then move on into the next thing.
And that's such a powerful thing that you said there, being intentional. Talk a little bit more about that, because I think a lot of people think that being intentional is something that just comes second nature, but it takes work, doesn't it?
It takes a lot of work because there is so much going on. But I feel like if there is something that you truly love, or people that you truly love, or this thing that you truly love, you're going to take that time to prioritize it. You're going to take that special moment to give it its
Mm-hmm.
shine, to give it its light. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
think intentionality is. It don't take much. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm
Right.
thinking about you, Yolanda. Let me take this 30 seconds and send this text message. That's
Yes.
intentionality. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To let a
Yes.
person that I love know that I'm thinking about them. And I really
Yeah, me
believe
too.
that if these things or people are as important to you like you say they are,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to be intentional. You may not do it
Mm.
as much as you want to, but it's easy if this person really, or this thing means a lot to you. You can slip in that little extra couple moments.
Yeah, you can. You really can. And you know what I have found is that every time I have taken that like you said, those 30 seconds, that hour, whatever time I have available to reach out, I always find out that it was for good reason. Like the person that I reach out to may have been going through something at that time. They needed to hear a kind voice on the other line, or they may have just been feeling a little lonely, maybe kind of detached from the world, or, their social circle, or whatever the case may be. So it's always right on time. And I feel like you have to be in tune with spirit.
You absolutely have to be in tune with spirit. I feel like as spiritualists, it's our job to notice. It's our job to hear.
It
And
is.
so you got to hear. You got to be still enough to listen and to act on that thing. Because to
Right.
me, it's more than just the hearing; it's the action behind it.
Right. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like if you hear it and you don't share it, then what? It's what is that old cliche? If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
That part. That part.
Well, it does, but there's nobody there to hear it, so nobody knew. Nobody even knew it failed, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So we thank you for your dedication to staying intentional and for teaching others, because the work you do speaks for you.
Thank you so much. And
And we know how much we've heard that before. Now I want you to just kind of take us back a little bit, because I know
okay, okay, okay.
we just let's just go back a little bit. We're going to be
Hmm.
intentional right now, and we're going to take it back like a racetrack.
Okay.
Before Ifa, what was there for you?
Well, before Ifa, I was an avid church goer. I grew up in a Baptist church, a very African centered Baptist church, though. When I was
Okay.
younger, so I think that church for giving me my African foundation, but
Mm-hmm.
always grew up in church. My great grandfather was a Baptist minister,
Mm-hmm.
and so I have this churchy lineage thing going on,
Yeah.
and but I was about to go to seminary school.
Mm-hmm.
And so before I spent that money, I had went on a like a shadow day. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Woo, yes, okay, like I'm going on the shadow day. I'm ready to, I'm ready for seminary." And
Yeah.
something just stopped me in my tracks. And like,
Yeah.
look at this thing. Really,
Yeah.
really examine what you're about to do. And
Mm-hmm.
it just didn't feel like home to me.
Ooh.
Nothing against it. It's always my foundation. My grandmother taught
Always.
me how to pray, and I love a good gospel cut.
Yes.
But it
Yes.
just it just wasn't it just wasn't it just wasn't for me. And
Right.
so I traced my roots, and I did my whole ancestry and all
Mm-hmm.
the things, and then I arrived at Yoruba tradition, Ifa specific.
I love the way you worded that. You realized it was not for you, or that it had been for you at some point, but now the tide has shifted.
And
And
really, it's a lot of similarities.
a lot.
A lot of similarities. We just
Yes.
don't know the origin of these things that we're doing in our churches that we attend. These
Ooh.
are African things that we're doing. The spirit catching spirit dancing,
Yes.
call and response. These
Yes.
are innately African things. And so,
Definitely.
once you understand the origin in that way, it's kind of hard to
Mm-hmm.
kind of see Christianity the same, especially in the sense that it was something that was used to enslave us.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And you and I have had conversations about, my journey as well. And I think that I knew a long time ago that I was going to take a non-traditional path as well. And, I remember specifically, we were having a women's conference. Remember the women's conferences?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Ooh,
Yep.
girl, you remember them women's conferences?
Mm-hmm.
And, because I was a minister of music. So at my church back home, we always used to have the women's conference choir. So all the women from all the different choirs would come in and they could participate in the choir. We would have special rehearsals. And even if you weren't a part of the choir, you could still, come in and participate.
Right.
But there was a prophetess who came to the women's conference culmination that Sunday. Because you have events going on all week, and then that Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
And so her name was Francine Riley. I will never forget. Very, very powerful prophetess, right? And I'm at the piano, right? And I'm listening because as a pianist,
You got to know when. Mm-hmm.
you gotta know when to you gotta wait for them to tune up a little bit. And when they
Right.
start
Right.
tuning
You
up,
gotta know when to pull them in.
you got to follow them. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm waiting because I know she's coming to the culmination of her message. And she starts prophesying, right? And as she starts prophesying, I don't realize she's talking to me. Because I'm sitting on the in the choir stand, which is like behind the pulpit. She's in the pulpit. My back is to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave me a prophecy about being in ministry. And she said, you were called, to spread the good news, to preach the word, yada, yada, yada. And then everybody looking, then I'm out of sight, like, why y'all looking at? And so she talking to you. And I was like, huh? And so then people, in the church, they start moving stuff out the way because she wait for me to turn around and look at her.
Right.
So they think, oh, she gonna fall out.
Right.
She gonna get anointed and she gonna fall out. And and I heard and I received that message, but still, like in my heart, I knew it wasn't going to be in the traditional sense. Not now, I don't know where my path will lead me moving forward because I have many, 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 many years ahead of me. But at that moment, I knew, okay, I'm not just going to be the person who just stands in the pulpit and preaches. And we need those people. Those people are cornerstones in our communities, right? We need our pastors. We need our ministers, our evangelists, and the list goes on. But I knew that my process was going to be different. And it has been.
And you know what's important for me, even if people choose to stay Christian, that you understand why you're Christian. If you're Muslim, you understand why you're Muslim. I feel like a lot of us are in these traditions because it's just, that's how we grew up. We don't know for ourselves. So if you have done that work and you say, without a shadow of a doubt, this is for me, and I did the work to come into that understanding, more power to you. It's those people who have not done that work.
Yes.
That, that I kind of worry about. Like, why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why is this for you?
Right. Why is this for you? Do you even know why this is for you? Absolutely. I'm gonna add to the stage something that came to mind as you were saying that. And I want you to share this with everybody because these are your words.
Yes, the healing gift isn't just medicine, it's awakening yours. This came to me because, as a spiritualist, as, a priest, you always get can you pray for me? Can you pray for me? Can you pray for me? And I always, while I oblige, you know what I mean? I always wonder about why people feel like maybe their power isn't good enough.
Ooh.
And, or what role I want to play as, a leader, as a person who's, teaching others within this tradition. And this is really at the cornerstone of my mission, showing you your power. You know what I mean? Waking up something in you that might have been sleeping, that was once sleeping in me, that somebody woke up in me, and waking up someone else's power, that they're empowered to wake someone else's power and to wake somebody else's power. So that's kind of where that came from. And just in this reflection of what kind of leader spiritually do I want to be? And is waking up someone else's power.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Oh, I love that. What are you, when you talk about awakening, could you really pinpoint your awakening moment? Was there like one specific moment, or was it maybe like little things that happened like over time?
I feel like it was little things over time that maybe didn't make sense in that moment. You know what I mean? So it was something that happened to me, and okay, I had this experience, but it wasn't until I got older and it started to make sense through some other lived experience that it was like, okay, this was big. For example, when I was 13, I was in a tragic car accident where I almost died. My grandmother told me they was making the funeral arrangements and everything. I had, broken my leg in multiple places, was in the hospital for almost a month. And so my mother told me that, when they called her to let her know that I had this, accident and she had to rush to the hospital, she said as soon as she got through she looking for me like, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? And she said, the doctor said to her, is your daughter spiritual? She said that was the first question that anybody had asked her before saying anything. Is your daughter spiritual? And she said, well, we go to church, what you mean? And the nurses and the doctors begin to tell her how I was just communing with spirit and how I was speaking in other tongues and I was having this whole spiritual thing going on.
Right.
In the midst of this almost, fatal accident. And so I heard that, and I was 13. So I heard this, but I didn't know the power of that until, my adult life. So there were things that definitely happened and to realize like that was spirit. And then to be
Mhm.
told, we saved you, yep. You know what I mean? And to
Yeah,
now
yeah,
to put
yeah.
all these pieces together,
Yes.
there was no specific, moment. Um, for me, Ifa was, kind of an awakening in the sense of, in my experience with Christianity, there is less focus on self empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's this leaning on, something outside of yourself to make everything happen for you, and less attention on the power that you have within yourself. And so to me, within Ifa, and really, really understanding that I am powerful, that I will my outcomes too, was a
Ooh.
light bulb. Like I got a dog in this fight too.
Yes, you do.
And it's me and these energies working together to
Yes.
make things happen, not me just relying on, hey, oh yeah, it's us working together to make things happen. And so that was a really important turning point. Like it was like a empowerment in a way that I have not experienced before.
I love that. Oh my God, that is so powerful. I wanted to take a comment. Miss Upgrade V, welcome in, sis. Welcome in. Was saying that she just loves that. She just loves all of that. Such
Thank
powerful
you.
words. I wanted to also highlight another quote of yours.
Oh,
Yes,
Lord,
I
oh Lord,
can.
let me see what you got. Let me see what you put up.
Listen. I'm not gonna do too much in here. I'm not gonna do too much. I don't know if you can you see this clearly?
I can see it. I can see it.
Go ahead and let that rip for the people.
Listen, some people, they waiting for the package to show up with the nice pretty bow,
Uh-huh.
and this nice wrapping paper, to the point where they even almost too scared to bust it open.
Yes.
That might not be your entry point. That might not be
Mm.
what's for you. And so stop waiting for that to happen before you move. Sometimes it may be ugly. It may be, a situation that you might not quite have solved for yourself. But if you can see past that, to
Yes.
me, that's where your golden ticket is.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
when I wrote that, I was just speaking towards that. Like, stop waiting for this pretty thing, because it just may not happen like that.
And 9 times out of 10, it's just not. I
And we
mean,
listen to things that are
yes.
for us, expecting it to be this pretty thing with a bow all the time.
Right. Exactly. I love the way you said move forward, even without certainty. Your path will meet you where courage. Okay, so let's talk about courage.
Listen, bold courage.
it
Bold courage.
takes a lot of courage to be on this journey. Because more often than not, you don't have a blueprint. Huh?
You don't have a blueprint, and a lot of people fear this. They fear
Okay.
the unknown. They fear anything, unfortunately, African sometimes. And it's not an easy road.
It's
But
not.
that is actually how I knew this road was for me. Because
Okay.
even though I knew, my mother would say, some little smart comments, and I'm sure I get the side eye down to the family dinner. You know what I mean? Or she doing that African stuff. I'm 100% sure that's what is given in my
Right.
family.
Right.
But none of that deterred me. It was almost like a fuel, and that's how I knew that this path was for me, because I was not coiling up with the side eyes or the comments. There was something more that I felt that I needed to be doing, and I just was not sure what that was. But it was like, even if I gotta go by myself, I'm gonna go.
Woo.
And so that feeling of pushing through anyway was powerful for me.
That, and okay, we Baptists because we know all the I don't care what anybody references. We got a song for that. That song, I'll go if I have to go by myself. Remember that?
Yep.
And that's the first thing that popped in my mind when you said that. I'm like, okay.
And then you get these little, I had a reading at one point, and I did not understand the push, but I was just moving with it. It was like move with spirit, move with spirit, move with spirit. And so I had a reading, and the priest that gave me the reading, he said, "Do you understand your push for this?" And I was like, "No, I don't. I know that I'm doing it, but I don't know. I don't understand why." And he told me, he said, because you were chosen by your ancestors. He said your family was Orisa worshipers, but there was a tear in the lineage. And so you have been chosen to restore order in your family line. So even if your children and their children and their children, let's just say they don't practice it, they won't fear it. They will understand, they will know
exactly
what this is. And that's why I do it for. I ain't trying to convert everybody. I mean,
no.
Everybody want to come on. But it's just removing this stigma that what we're doing is somehow evil.
Right. That's it.
Or your ancestors, your people evil.
Right.
Not so.
Not so. Not so at all. Gosh, I mean, it's just that's a lot to unpack right there. Just what you said, that's a lot to unpack. And I think that knowing that you were chosen for such a time as this,
come on,
it's almost like it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you got to carry the load, but you were equipped for the race. And if not you, then who? And when you come into the realization and the knowledge of that, you know that there's no one other than God who could equip you for it. Am I right?
You are right.
You couldn't do this by yourself without God, your angels, your ancestors, your spirit team, your Egbe, Egun. You could not do it without them. But you need all them people, all them spirits at your back to make sure that you finish the race. Because it's a heavy load that we carry. Mm-hmm. And people don't understand. That's why when I coined the term, my husband and I coined the term revolutionary insomniacs. Sometimes things that wake you up out of your sleep at night.
Come on.
You're like, why am I tossing and turning? You tossing and turning because you got a load that you got to carry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And can't nobody carry it but you.
That part.
You can't even take it off your back for a minute and say, "Oh God, I'm tired. Here, you hold this for a minute." You can't do that.
And when people try to do that, they're not successful.
Never.
And they spin their wheels, and success does not meet them.
Exactly. It does not meet them. So, it's one of those things where you almost just bear the load in silence. Because even sometimes to verbalize it and to share it with people, they look at you like, huh, what's she talking about?
That part, and I think in this walk, you kind of realize like, you ain't going to save everybody. Every situation isn't, I take those opportunities where I could teach or to do so. Mm-hmm. And if not, everybody comes to their thing in their own time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean? My mission is to help those who want to, who want that type of enlightenment, not to beat anyone over the head with it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the realization that this may not be everybody's calling.
It may not.
It may not be everybody's mission. And so with that understanding, you don't force anybody into anything.
You don't. You just don't. And again, like you said, you're removing the stigma. Absolutely. And sometimes that's all you got to do.
That's it. By your example.
That's it. Lead by example. That's it.
Yep.
Well, sis, we get crunk in here. We get crunk in here.
Let's get it.
But we're at the midpoint of our segment, so we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to allow for this commercial that we have about the Soulful Chicago Book Festival play for just a few moments, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair.
Hey family, this is Charles Humphrey of MCH Publishing, and I'm here with Ashada, and we at the Soulful Chicago Book what?
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, slamming.
We getting down in Hyde Park. Just run it down, my sister. Just tell us, for the people, a little bit about what we're doing here today and why.
You know, this is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, and this month is very important. I feel like we don't give it the type of recognition that it needs, but beyond that, I do all things literary, and we have so many ancestors that have taken a tradition of writing and done great things. Well, we have those of us that are carrying on that tradition, and nobody knows about them until now. So the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair is allowing us to tell our stories according to ourselves for our own benefit, and it's just beautiful. I mean, she could have been here today if you wasn't here, but if you were, it's been amazing. People came in consistently, children, and we have children's authors, we have nonfiction authors, we have fiction authors. This is really good, and it's about taking our own power in our own hands and doing what we do on the literary tip, though.
Right.
I gotta work, but I can't help it. Everything going to school. Now I just about bring my African shit like this. Bring it back.
And we are back. All right, sis. Let's see if we can pick up where we left off, because I was I know I have to go to commercial, but I was like, whoo, this is getting so good. I gotta switch gears, right? I think this is a perfect time to bring up this video clip. And do me a favor, would you set the stage for this? Because I want to make sure that all acknowledgments are given properly. So tell the people what it is that we're about to witness.
Yes, this is, I did a podcast for Voices of Iwa. Shout out to Iyalorisa, who hosts this lovely podcast. And this episode was about Oya. And so I did it with my lovely sister and teacher in Ajabona, Oyafunmilayo. And so that's the clip that you'll see.
Who incidentally also taught our Egbe class.
Absolutely. Yep.
And she is a force to be reckoned with as well. Such as yourself. Yes, love. Yes. So we're going to take a quick peek at that, and then we're going to come back and unpack the video.
Okay.
She just Oya has capacity. You know what I mean? She fills the largest calabash. She can handle it. Are you doing that shadow work? That's warrior work. Right?
That is.
Get it together, right? You gotta get it together for this baby. Death is not the end. No matter what I'm going through, I'm never destroyed. With the loss of my daughter several weeks ago, and so when I think about that personal transformation right now, it's like I'm living it in this moment, trusting that Oya is going to help bring me through this storm. My name is Oyafunmilayo. I can pray my name. Oya gives me joy. Oya.
I was kind of dragged along and was introduced through church.
How are you actually living your life today that will help to honor you in your death? The storm is a dance.
Yes.
You know, she's going to do it scared, but she won't do it. Not all storms come to, destroy. Some come to rebuild.
Jungle would send her before him, the one who precedes her husband in battle.
If you study nature, you study the Orisa. You want to hold that machete when people are saying no, or when they're scared, or when they're fearful. Are you going to stand your ground?
Woo!
Come on. Yes.
That was such a powerful segment that you ladies did that night. I don't know if you know, I know. Well, no, I'm gonna take that back. I know you know.
That's what they said, sis.
That thing was hot and piping. All the tea.
All right,
okay?
now.
It'll scald your tongue. It was so hot. Okay. Just to attempt to scratch the surface, because we'll have to stay here for another hour to try to unpack all of that.
Listen, bring me back. Bring me back.
Let's talk about Oya and that calabash.
Well, Oya is this larger than life deity, and she's a river deity, and they said that she is the one at the river who fills the largest calabash. And so that is just such a wonderful positioning to be this strong woman who has so much to give. You know what I mean? Because you can be filled. You can be filled. You can be filled. And so I love that about Oya. She is change. She is transition. Not change like, oh, this temporary change. This lasting change where you will never be the same again is Oya. She is storms. And, people have this negative relationship with storms, but her storms never come to destroy. You always going to be better than you came. She is this breath, this inhale, this exhale, this cleansing breath that returns us back to center. She is capacity. She is the marketplace.
Yes.
And when you go into the marketplace, everything is happening there.
Yes.
People are winning, people are losing, people are celebrating, people are sad, people are happy. There's noise, there's quiet, there's ups and downs, loss and gain. And when we think of the marketplace, it's earth, it's our experience. And so she governs that. And so Oya has been all that and more to me.
Yes.
This idea in which, through Oya, I was always a person who said what was on their mind. And, the one that they said always talked too much or, had this big personality. And I'll admit, before finding Oya, I would always feel like, well, should I dumb myself down? Or should I, I always kind of, I saw that as kind of like negative in a sense, you know what I mean? Or something that I needed to turn down. And so it is through Oya that I really accepted those things about me. Now, of course, there's a time and a place and, for everything.
Yes.
But this ability to say something that will spark change.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To not be afraid, to be, the spark before real life change happens. I love me.
That's it, right? All of you, and you gotta love all of you.
Unapologetic in my fullness.
Yes, and and I feel like it's so important to learn how to love yourself in totality. Because, and I feel like Oya is very representative of that. Because you think about a storm can span many, many miles. And it can rip through an entire country, right? Think about the storms that we see when they say the hurricanes are coming through. Now, they might start out there in the Atlantic, but they're gonna work their way on across. They're gonna come through, God bless our brothers and sisters in Jamaica who are still, trying to rebuild and reclaim some of what was lost, but just thinking about them in this time. But the storms come through, they come up through the Caribbean, and then sometimes they come up through the States. They don't always go around. You never quite know where the storm is headed. But it's coming sometimes to clear the path, not necessarily to destroy. Like you said, me personally, I always thought I was a little strange because I love a storm. I love a good storm. When the meteorologists would be on the news saying the storm was coming, I remember the rain would start, maybe the thunder, the lightning, whatever. And my grandmother would always be like, all right, shh, we got to get quiet. Turn off the lights. Turn off the TV. Unplug everything. For a long time, I thought that was a very primitive mindset to have surrounding a storm. Later on, I began to look at that through a different lens. I said, you know what? I don't even know if it was fear so much as reverence for the storm. How can we learn to better revere the storms in our lives? What does Oya say about that?
She says, take it on. She says in the middle of that thing is stillness. She teaches you how to bend and not break.
Yes.
And when we think of the storm, let's just say, you know, when the storm comes, what are the trees doing? They're bowing to her.
Yes.
So, you know, if my problems are those tree leaves, may my problems bow to the storm.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? And so we are never destroyed. And if you think back to any storm or anything that you went through in your life, while it did not feel good, you emerged better.
Oh, definitely.
And you left that thing with a set of experiences.
Yes.
That set you on your path for the rest of your life.
Yes,
and
definitely.
So for me, that's a lesson and a blessing.
A lesson and a blessing.
You know, that's back to this notion that we got to have everything in this pretty little bow. Or y'all's not going to do that. She going to tear up what needs to be torn up with or without our permission. It's better if we just yield.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? Things only get difficult when we try to impose our will, or we stay in places too long, or doing things longer than we should. And she just helps us to realize our role in our own suffering.
That's it. I mean, it's literally as simple but as powerful as that. Definitely powerful. So we know that you are a priest of Oya. I'm sorry, priestess. And I know we kind of getting away from the gender specific term. So priest or priestess of Oya. But also you recently became a priestess of Egbe.
Egbe, yes. Muso. Muso.
Yes. And I want us to talk just a little bit about Egbe, because I tell y'all what, when I took that class, it was such an eye-opener for me. I knew the formal terminology, but I didn't know the meat and potatoes of Egbe. So speak to us just a little bit about Egbe.
Well, Egbe Egbe just is a Yoruba word that means group. And so in the Isheshe framework, there Egbe Aye, which is our Egbe on earth, our groups, our sororities, our friend groups, all those things. And then Egbe Orun. And so in this sense, we're talking about Egbe Orun, which are our heavenly doubles, our astral mates, the witnesses to our destiny. And so they represent us as our best self. You know, they connect us with all of our blessings. They have an eye into our destiny. And so working with them and appeasing them keep us in alignment to our blessings. So as above, so below. That's where that comes from. And so this our astral mates in heaven have all of, you know, they are experiencing life for the finer things. You know, all of the blessings, all of the riches, all of our good things reside with Egbe. And when we are in alignment with them, that heaven meets earth and we are aligned.
I love that. I just love every bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to also go back to what you said, like spiritual fraternity, sorority, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this is like a piece that's kind of missing in, you know, our foundational belief system of Christianity. You know, we really didn't talk about having these this spiritual team, so to speak. You know, we know about God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. We know about that. But there's also a team that, you know, and these are spiritual companions that could take many forms.
That are working with on our behalf. And it's funny because a lot of times we hear the things, oh, we all have a twin. You know what I mean? So we hear these things, we're just not connecting it in the sense of Egbe.
Right.
And so this is your Egbe is a replica of you. You
Yes.
know what I mean? At your highest self.
Yes.
And so just imagine that there's this, you know, there's this second Yolanda in heaven with all of your spiritual comrades and people just wanting you to win. They cheering you on. They you know, they see you going left, they gonna, you know, make something happen to push you right. Listen, I want my team.
I want my team too.
Listen, starting 5 at the buzzer.
I need my team. I need my team on deck at all times. And to me, it brings me such comfort. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's somebody out there really rooting for me. Because sometimes, even with the love of our families and friends, this journey can get a little lonely sometimes.
Yeah.
But when you stop to think, oh, wait a minute, I got somebody rooting for me on the other side in the next dimension, however you want to, you know, say it, then you begin to feel a certain amount of peace.
Absolutely.
Does that happen for you as well?
It is a peace. It is an understanding of me in a new way. You know what I mean? To really understand that there is this group of celestial beings, which is a connection of me.
Yes.
Rooting this, you know, this is not in some arbitrary group of spirits you don't know.
Right.
This is people who are connected to me. Me.
Yes.
You know, in my most heavenly place.
Right. Exactly.
I listen, I'd rather believe than not. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, come on, say that. Say that.
It ain't gonna hurt.
It ain't.
You understand?
And guess what? It just might help.
Exactly. So it's been a beautiful, you know, experience to become one with myself in that way.
I love that. I just love that. So I want to pivot a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you have just given us so many nuggets.
Listen, you taking me on a ride. We want to ride. Look.
I ain't had dinner yet, but I'm already full. Okay, I'm already full out here. Talk to us a little bit about your business. Now, you are also, among other things, an entrepreneur. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Now, here was a quote.
Oh, Lord, listen. Look.
Here was the quote where you said, our humanity is rooted in harmony and responsibility to one another. Yes, we have personal destinies, but there's also a collective one. This is how spirit moves through us, how we become good to and for each other, even in silence, even in sorrow. Someone is holding the corner of your mat. Walk good.
Listen, we are not here alone.
We are not.
And my destiny is tied to your destiny. And your destiny is tied to her destiny or his destiny.
Yes.
And the quicker we can really understand that, the more powerful our work will be. Now, my business kind of just happened, sis. Seriously, I did not particularly consider myself to be one who like sold things or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally a calling. It was something that I answered. It was, one day I went to get some Florida water and realizing that this thing is expensive. And when I looked at the ingredients, none of it is anything that we can make out. It is dyes. It's not even real, herbs. And so I'm like, I can make this. And so that's how kind of like the Florida water started. And then, I made a big batch and was like, hey, I made some Florida water. You want to try it? You want to try it? And then people were like, girl, you need to sell this. And then that's how that started. And then my first t-shirt was my piece, my pace, my process. And so
that's good.
That was my first tee. And that's really how it started. But it is an answer to a call. It is a way to teach about the Orisa, to teach about African spirituality in a way that people can get behind. You know what I mean? A t-shirt.
Yes, definitely.
All good things, kind of just playing on the T. The T in good is my name. And then when you study the Odu, in every story, there's a person who goes to a babalawo or goes, for a spiritual consultation. And when they comply with what they were told to do, they are always promised all good things. And so that realization came after the name, but I kind of like that. And I'm like, if you comply, if you walk in your destiny, if you do as you are told and you are listening and you are honoring that inner voice and the things that God told you to do, you're going to meet with all good things. And so
definitely
that is my mission. And then I signed my emails all good things. And so when I was thinking about a name, like, okay, Spirit is pushing me in this direction. What's the name of this business going to be? I was kind of, I don't know what I'm going to name it. Like nothing was coming to me. And I just signed an email the way I usually do. All good things. And then my friend called me, was like, girl, that's the name. And so that's how all good things came. So the T is Tabitha, the T is thankful, and just all good things is what happens for us and to us when we honor our Ori and our destiny.
When we honor our Ori and our destiny.
Yes.
And you got to do it.
You got to. You got to. That's the only way to get real forward movement.
Oh, yeah,
real
for
change,
sure.
Real transformation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I love the way you said that the space is more than just a brand. It's a calling. It's a commitment to honor the ancestors, to uplift spirit and hold space for healing, growth, and transformation.
Absolutely.
On your site, you said, gratitude for all good things, manifested, multiplied, and made sacred.
Listen, what that sound like? Pressed down, shaking together, and what?
And running over.
Okay. All right, now. You already know, sis.
It's all of that rolled into one. And it's a beautiful sentiment.
Listen, a prayer. With my products, I am praying over these things. I am wishing well for the people that are using it, that are wearing it, and that they will get closer to themselves.
Yes. I'm running across the bottom of the screen. Those of you who are watching, I am running it here on the ticker, the website for all good things, https://all-good-things-9.myshopify.com. You need to go over there.
Listen, come on. Come
You need
on.
to do a little shopping. Y'all know y'all like to spend money. Don't play.
Listen, the Kwanzaa is coming up.
Yeah, come on. It's the holiday season. Let's get into it.
Listen, we buying black, all black everything.
Yes, we are. I noticed something too with this website. I noticed the 9.
You know, that was just a little sprinkle dinkle that.
That's a sprinkle dinkle.
That Oya gave me. You know, 9 is her number, but you know, I try to keep her in the mix. And so
yes,
add a 9 on there. I said, okay, and that 9 been good, that 9 been faithful.
And the thing about it is it goes back to being intentional.
Intentional, you know, there's just so much power behind that. You know, yes. Oya had 9 stillborn children. She bore 9 stillborn children. And so many of us would be done after 1 stillbirth.
Girl,
done after 2 stillbirths, done after 3. But you know what? She tried and she tried and she tried again. So that 9 for me is continuing to try.
Yes.
Continuing to do my best. Look, I got at least 9 reasons.
Yeah, hey, come on! I got at least 9 reasons.
I got at least 9, and so you know, in any way that I could honor my great mother, I will.
Oh, of course, but of course, and you know, it's interesting because this is a 9-year.
Listen, and things around here is changing, ain't they?
Things is changing, but it's a 9-year, which I also feel like honors Oya.
Absolutely.
Right? Mm-hmm. And 9 brings about those culminations, a lot of endings, and it kind of paves the way, kind of like the storms do. They clear the path because 2026 will bring us into technically a 10-year, but we don't say 10, we just say 1. So we're going back to 1. We're starting back at essentially ground zero. Oya paves the way for that. Oya going into battle before her husband Shango. What?
Listen, to check out the scene.
She checking out the scene.
Look, to make sure we good. To see who all over there and ain't supposed to be.
And she got that machete. Well, I might have to cut some things down on my way over here. Get to where we going.
Absolutely.
What a powerful mother to have.
Listen,
you know,
and don't get the machete twisted now, because the machete cuts, but it heals.
Ooh,
it cuts. Come on now. It cuts and heals.
It cuts and heals.
And so people think, oh, she just you know, and she does, but she will mend.
Via saying and do.
Absolutely do. And so, you know, Oya is dual nature. She'll mess up some stuff, but she's gonna heal as well. She's warrior and healer.
Yes. Oh, so powerful. I wanna just looking at a few more comments. Cinabella Gill, the Bronzeville diva herself, has said, "This has been a powerfully positive and enlightening. Thank you both for providing new woke perspectives that have brought me into more clarity. Bravo." Thank you so much, Diva, for stopping by to see us. Another part of the Female Solution. Amazing. Yes. Thank you so much. So, sis, we have come to the end of this segment, and you know we could go on all day and just
listen. We woke outside. We are woke.
We are. Any closing words for those our listeners and viewers out there as we begin to close out?
Well, I guess I'll just go with the topic of your show. You know what woke looks like, and for me, it is internal.
Yes,
you know, being woke is an inside job. It is. It is being in alignment, mind, body, and spirit, so that you can operate in your fullness unapologetically. And so let's be woke.
Let's be woke.
Be woke.
Cinabella just said, it's you. And
Thank
that's
you so
why when you look at the title, what woke looks like, hashtag what woke looks like, I spell the like with a Y. And the Y stands for you.
Absolutely.
It's an inside job.
It's an inside
Yes, it
job.
is. Well, sis, thank you so much.
I love you. I love you. I love you
more. I love you more. Thank you for coming by and spending time with us this evening. We hope to have you back sometime if time allows.
Of course, of course.
And we're going to close out with another message from our sponsor. Y'all don't forget to go shop All Good Things now. Don't forget.
Bye, everybody.
Have a wonderful night.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
All right.
That was good.
Girl, listen. A time was had. Okay.
Did you end the stream? Did you end that stream?
I thought I did.